The first question is, why do some people learn languages more easily than others? Well, I don't think there's a single explanation for this. I believe it's a combination of several factors such as aptitude, motivation, and exposure. There are some people who naturally have a good ear for sounds, and so they're able to imitate pronunciation and learn vocabulary very easily. Now, although natural gifting does provide a head start, I think it's ultimately the motivation that determines how far a learner progresses. If a highly motivated learner puts in hours of practice, then definitely he is going to get much further ahead than somebody who is naturally gifted but lacks commitment. Exposure to the language is also a crucial factor. If someone watches movies or listens to podcasts or maybe interacts with native speakers, I think he is much likely to progress at a faster rate than somebody who solely depends on textbooks. That's because he is exposed to real, authentic language in real life contexts. The second question is, why is it easier for children to learn languages than adults? Well, that's a very interesting question. I believe there are a couple of reasons for this. The first reason is that children's brains are more flexible. They're more naturally wired, especially when it comes to picking up new sounds and pronunciation. Another factor is that children learn language or acquire language mostly by listening or observing and imitating others rather than by learning complex grammar rules. Whereas adults tend to analyze the language, which slows down the process of learning it. Another factor would be that children are not afraid of making mistakes. Children just naturally speak the language without worrying about being judged. Adults, on the other hand, tend to be self-conscious, which can be a major barrier to language acquisition. Next question. How do people usually learn a new language nowadays? Well, the way people learn languages has changed dramatically over the past few years, mainly due to advances in technology. One of the most commonly used methods is language learning apps, which allow students to practice in short, manageable sessions every day. And that's very convenient for professionals who may not have the time to actually enroll for a course. Another method is immersion through digital content. Many learners just watch TV series, YouTube videos, movies, and listen to podcasts in the target language, and that helps them pick up natural pronunciation, everyday expressions, and even cultural nuances. Another method which is very popular is online classes. Students can connect with teachers from any part of the world, and that's a level of flexibility and accessibility that traditional classrooms can never match. Next question, what is the most important factor in becoming fluent in a language? If I had to choose one factor, I'd say consistency. Many learners are very motivated at the beginning but lose interest after a few weeks. But a person who is consistent, who practices daily, will see real results. Another important thing is using the language rather than just learning about it. Many learners spend hours memorizing vocabulary lists, learning grammar rules without ever trying to speak or write. But language is a practical skill. It's learned through use rather than passive learning. So consistency and using the language are the vital keys. Next question. Does speaking more than one language help people in their careers? Absolutely. In today's globalized world, being multilingual can give people a significant competitive edge in the job market. It allows them to interact with international clients, colleagues from different cultural settings, and opens doors to career opportunities abroad. Also, I'd say learning another language demonstrates a person's adaptability, perseverance, and willingness to come out of the comfort zone, which are traits that employers value. Having said that, I'd like to add that there are some professions where one does not need to interact with international clients or colleagues. In those kind of jobs, being multilingual may not have much of an advantage. Next question, do you think English will remain the world's most important language in the future? Well, certainly. I believe English will remain the most dominant global language for the foreseeable future. Although there are economies that are growing rapidly, I don't think English is likely to lose its position anytime soon. The main reason for it is that English is firmly established as a lingua franca for global communication, technology, science, aviation, business, and diplomacy. Another reason is its cultural influence. English is the language of global entertainment, from music to movies, from OTT platforms to social media. Millions are exposed to it every day, and so they are encouraged to learn this language. So I would say English will not lose its status as an important tool for international communication. And now for our final question. In the future, as artificial intelligence and real-time translation technology become more advanced, will it still be necessary for humans to learn foreign languages? Now that's a thought-provoking question. Although AI-powered translation is advancing at an incredible pace, I don't think it's likely to eliminate the need for learning languages. Definitely, it will make everyday communication much easier. For example, if you're abroad and you need to ask for directions, order a meal, or just buy something in a shop, AI translating apps would perfectly handle those situations. But language is not just about exchanging information. It is much deeper than that. It's closely tied to our emotions, our identity, and our culture. So although a translating app would translate a word with remarkable accuracy, it would not be able to achieve that kind of closeness or intimacy which develops when two people or two or more people speak in the same language. So I would say people will continue to learn languages in order to develop meaningful relationships, communicate more effectively in professional settings, and also to appreciate other cultures better. That's all in this video. I'll be back soon with my next set of part 3 questions.